This week on Jersey Matters, a school regionalization plan for New Jersey is one step closer to reality. What does that mean for your child? We ask New Jersey Senate President Steve Sweeney. We'll get the latest on the investigation into that massive Ocean County forest fire from Ocean County Prosecutor Bradley Billheimer. And are you up for the cereal challenge? Once we tell you what it is and who it's for, I think you're going to want to try it. Hello and welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. Senate President Steve Sweeney is said to be the second most powerful person in New Jersey. This week, we spoke with him on a wide range of issues, from legalized recreational marijuana to his relationship with Governor Phil Murphy. But we begin with his plan to regionalize New Jersey schools and what that means to you. Senate President, thank you so much for your time. I wanted to congratulate you on your school reorganization bill. I remember the very first time I interviewed you in your office, you talked about this. Every parent's going to want to know how it affects them and their school. How do you answer them?
You know, Larry, it really shouldn't have any impact on the school or the parents, the students. You're basically talking about, Larry, having the same school building, but instead of having a superintendent and a whole administration, you have a principal in the building. So basically what you're talking about is lopping off a lot of the administrative costs to try to get them either back into the classroom or back in the taxpayers' pockets, Larry. This bill is supported by every education group but superintendents. They see this coming at their job, and we're not coming at their job. You know, people in New Jersey keep saying their taxes are too high. I've heard them many times. The only way you're going to change it is if you change the delivery of education and government services. Because what we found out, Larry, is small school districts, and I'm using small, 500 kids and less, spend 17% more than the highest spending school districts in the state. I'm talking like a Patterson, or, you know what I mean? Like where it's a really high spending district where they're teaching in 58 different languages.
How much money will the state save in regionalization?
We don't have a total number, but think about eliminating an administration. I'll give you an example. My home county, when I was running the county government, we merged our special school district and our vocational school district into one administrative district. They're separate districts, but administratively it's one. They save $1.5 million a year, right? Well, over 10 years, it's $15 million. So that's just two small school districts.
We're taping this interview on Tuesday. It's going to be passed through the Senate on Thursday. I know that for a fact because you wouldn't have put it up if it wasn't going to pass through Thursday. Do you have all confidence at this point that it gets through the House and it's signed by the governor?
Yeah, because it's voluntary, Larry. It's voluntary. This is not being mandated. So, you know, again, I have a study going on in Salem County right now. It's the smallest county in the state. They are voluntarily, they got a grant to study it. Salem County spends $226 million to educate less than 11,000 kids. Vineland, which is similar demographics, that has 11,000 kids, spends $180 million. Okay, so it's $46 million more. So what I'm saying is, you know, you have two similar communities. The demographics are the same. One's $226 million, one's $180 million. You know, that's pretty big spread. So our point is, let's keep our quality government. No one wants to reduce or dilute. The last thing we want to do is dilute our schools. No, we're number one in the nation and we're going to stay there.
I talked to you a few months ago and you were upset at the time because you were upset that you felt like you had a deal with Governor Murphy to help get some of your path to progress through, that he wasn't going to stand in your way. And at the time you said you weren't going to introduce any spending bills if that didn't happen. Is this a sign that you have reached some deal to get some of your reforms through?
I wish it was, but no, that's not this. We're not done. You know, Larry, one of the most important things we did was we're going to make the full pension payment for the first time in, I think, 25 years. And that was critically important because you can't have a discussion on changing things until you get to people where, hey, I'm paying my bill now. I'm putting all the money I'm supposed to be putting into it. It would be advantageous to everyone to sit back down at a table and look at a new deal. Not lock people out of the room, but have everyone in the room to have this conversation, Larry, because workers lost their COLAs in 2010 or 11. The cost of living increases. When do you think they're going to get them back? We don't come up with something new. Right. The point is, it's to their benefit to come up with something new. Everyone's benefit. But we had to ensure that workers' pension, the payments are fully, that we fully funded it. I got a bill right now that basically separates municipal and county pensions off from the state pension system because the towns and counties, they pay their pension bill. They didn't skip their payments. They paid it all along. And what I don't want is a blending. The governor has committed to reforms with me, and I'm going to hold him to it. And, I think he will keep his commitment to me, to be honest with you.
How would you say your relationship is with the governor now?
It's good. It's as good as it's ever been. We're working together. The pandemic, I think, made both sides realize we got to try to work better together because the people need us to work together. The people of New Jersey need to see a cooperative government trying to do right by its taxpayers. So I think it's good.
You're going to be getting a lot of phone calls and a lot of letters in the next couple of weeks from parents at school districts, 200 school districts to be exact, because superintendents sent out a letter to all the parents asking them to call you, to call the governor, to send letters to Assembly Leader Coughlin, asking for you to hold off on school reform because they're going to lose too much money. What's your response to them?
Well, Larry, one, what are they doing with all the federal money they're getting right now? Because it's unbelievable the amount of money that's coming into the state from the federal government for our schools. You know that. They're huge sums. So that's number one. Number two, they weren't complaining when they were overfunded, when they were being overfunded. Realize something, Larry. We're working to get we're working to get those 200 school districts to 100% funding. 100%. Not 60, not 50, not 20. So instead of being 120% funded, they're going to be 100% funded. How can you argue when I'm going to give you 100% of what you're entitled to? When I had school districts that kids, they couldn't, they had to share books. They had no technology. You know what I mean? When other districts are super wealthy because they were getting all this additional funding for kids they didn't have. And by the way, Larry, by the time we're done, when we get them to 100% funding, it'll be 15 years they'll be overfunded. For districts that are willing to regionalize, we will extend the time frame. We have a bill right now that would extend the loss of funding, or instead of 4 more years, over 8 years. So we are handing out a carrot. You know what I'm saying? We're offering a carrot. But if you think I'm going to change S2, there's not a chance.
We will continue our conversation with New Jersey Senate President Steve Sweeney when Jersey Matters comes right back.